Good good evening, everybody. This is Dana B and Charlie M and the Mountain Council. Gunny's here, Scott's here. A lot of us are here from the Mountain Council tonight. Heading up our weekly, because it's too cold to be in the clubhouse, Monday night, 7 to 9, Mountain Patriots meeting. So I want to thank everybody for being here tonight. I'm going to ask everybody just for some housekeeping stuff. If you can leave it on mute, that would help because that way we don't get background noises. We don't get people barking and the dogs talking. You know how that goes, right, Scott? The people are barking and the dogs are talking. But to get us started tonight, I'm going to start us off tonight with the Mountain Patriots prayer. I do know that our good friend Wayne Schneider will be on here in a little bit to cover the prayer and how we're bringing America back to Yahuwah, to God, which is our main mission, is to try to save the children. And this is a battle between good and evil. So we want to make sure that we bring everything back here to God. That's why we are the Mountain Patriots Educational Ministries. So if you all take a second with me, and I'll get the prayer going this evening. This is the Mountain Patriots prayer. Dear Lord, thank you for this beautiful world in the country that you have given us, and the patriots who are willing to care for it. Thank you for our founders to create this beautiful republic, and please help us to keep it as the inspiring place to live. Please give us the wisdom to do the right things, the common sense to judge wisely, the energy to never give up, and your unending grace, in which we take comfort. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
So, guys, real quick, Rodney says he did not get something here. So I'm going to send this out to Rodney because he is one of our speakers right after me tonight. And he is going to be covering a lot about what we have going on with the redistricting of our county or our state to kind of help whoever thinks they need help. All right. So let me send this to Rodney. He handles all of the.
What? Hey, I got a filler if while you're doing that. If that's all right with you?
I was going to do, I'm ready to go, Charlie.
Okay, go.
All right. But if you want to, because I was going to
No,
do
no.
the credo real quick.
Yep. Go ahead.
Okay. Folks, we are the Mountain Patriots Educational Ministries, and this is our credo and mission statement. Mountain Patriots is a group of USA loving, constitutional, conservative American citizens dedicated to saving, serving, and preserving our county, state, and country. We believe we are endowed by our Creator with certain unalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, and we are bound by those beliefs. Our credo: we assist with support, safety, and security for our neighbors in Frederick County and abroad. Our mission is to build a caring, freedom-loving, compassionate cadre of citizens with patriotic and positive attitudes and a willingness to share their time, effort, and sacred honor. Our vision: we, the Mountain Patriots, are committed to be patriotic and peaceful examples of we the people. We operate within the moral principles of the United States Constitution, the Declaration of Independence, and the Bill of Rights as derived from the biblical worldview of our founders, and do so in our community and communities across the Commonwealth of Virginia and again abroad. Our aim is to take back and preserve Virginia for we the people. We help support individuals and their families to emotionally, spiritually, and physically survive and thrive in our community. We strive to motivate and engage the electorate to be sufficiently involved in our governing bodies and hold those governing bodies accountable in their performance of those duties that we have granted to them. Our strategy: it is our commitment to help families in need and to educate and activate this community through conferences, meetings, community meetings, a variety of educational, training, and informational videos like tonight, newscasts, newsletters, podcasts, and preparedness training with a Christian worldview. We accomplish our goals for our community through contributions, along with volunteers from our group and community. Our guiding principles: we will be vigilant, We will be trustworthy. We will be prepared. We will be reverent. We will be respectful. We will be kind. And as the Mountain Patriots know, we will be nice.
Nice.
Okay. So that is our credo. And it's really important as I read through this, every time I look at it, you know, when we're looking at when I'm looking at all of the different ministries, it says we help support individuals and their families to emotionally and spiritually and physically survive and thrive in the community. The emotional part is getting really hard for a lot of people, especially the folks that have been doing this as long as we have. A lot of us have. And the emotional toll that it takes on us. And we know that we have to be there for some people that haven't learned what we've learned yet. So if you need help, you need a guiding hand. We always say, if you don't know what's going on and you don't believe something, ask a conspiracy analyst. Okay. We're the guys that have been doing this for forever. And you're going to go, when did that happen? Or how did that? Oh my God, that's terrible. We want to be there for people emotionally, spiritually, as best we can. So I'm going to give you a real quick update. Right now, I want to thank everybody for being here because we are trying to take back America, and our concentration is on Virginia, especially right now in Frederick County. That does not mean that we're not helping other people around the country. We have folks that may be on here tonight from New York or South Carolina, Texas, California, Minnesota. It all depends on who I can catch, when, where, and how. Okay, there's my buddy, man. Chris is down there. He's down there in Florida. He knows who created the term conspiracy theory. We all know it's the AIC. Oh, wait a minute. That's the dyslexic part of it. Now it's the CIA. Okay. So right now, as you guys know, we're in the third day of a shutdown. The one thing that they didn't pass with the budget was security, Homeland Security. So just hang in there. Our feeling is that the people that aren't paying attention, that happen to lean a little bit the other direction, it's going to blow up on them. That's just the way it is. You cannot tell people what's going on. Sometimes you have to show them. You know, you could say that you got a cut on your arm that could get infected. You go, that's no big deal until it gets infected. So if we can hit you with that infection and they actually do it to you, or you get burned a couple times, then you start figuring out what's going on. Make sure, folks, right now that you watch the metals. I'm not going to give you any financial advice, but I will tell you that I felt it was the time to get metals for the simple fact that everything dropped below $80 for silver, and it's around $5,000 for gold. And when there's a shortage of things like of silver, oh my gosh, it could hit 150, 200, 300, 500. We don't know. This isn't something that you get and hold on to. This is something you get and hold on to. Okay, it will never go bad. It's not like a loaf of bread, and you'll be able to use it later. So keep that in mind. If you want any places that we go to, hit me up. I'll help you. Tonight, we want people to be involved in what's happening. People don't do something until it's, like I said, it's absolutely necessary. It is absolutely necessary. This is not going away. This is not going away. It's just going to get worse. There's a lot of things that are going to happen right now. And Chris is right. Precious metals and ammo, they never go bad. So be prepared. Connect everywhere. We're trying to connect everywhere we can. Watch right now. A couple of the things we're doing here in Frederick County. We're putting stuff together for the redistricting. All right, because you know that Scam Burglar wants to, and the Democrats want to have this whole redistricting of everything so that they'll have 9 seats to 2 or 10 seats to 1. This is all going to blow up on them, but it'll only blow up with your help. You've got to be involved. You can't wake up one morning and go, wait a minute, they took my car. What do you mean my taxes are more than my mortgage? What do you mean my kid's in school right now and I can't say what it is? Why are those boys in the girls' bathroom? Because you sat on your butt and you didn't do anything about it. So it's about time that we do that. So we're watching Frederick County. There is a $35 to $42 million shortfall in our budget right here in Frederick County. And we are one of the more fiscally responsible counties in the state. So what does that tell you? Charlie's going to cover some of this a little bit more as we go forward. I've been doing a lot of things with schools. My thing is the kids. Okay, when it comes to abuse or child trafficking or human trafficking, Epstein Islands, things like that, it makes me absolutely livid of what happens to children. But what we found out, or what I've done, is I'm looking at the budget, and my calculations say that 42% of the money that we bring in here every year goes to the school system. So I started asking questions. 83% of that 42% goes to the staff. That's their benefits and everything else. If you live in Loudoun County and you teach in Frederick County, stay in Loudoun County. Okay. Our budget is less than yours. So if what I think I'm trying to say here is what you make here will pay for here. If you live in Loudoun County, it'll pay for Loudoun County. But you come over here and you want what you get in Loudoun County, it don't work that way. So 42% of the money goes to the schools. 83% is on the staff and benefits. Now here's the kicker. Private schools are anywhere from $7,500 to $9,000. The graduation rate is higher. There's not as many fights in school. You get a good Christian education and you can actually read. Go figure. Okay. And it's less than half the price. All right. So I'm going to be advocating and I'm going to be pushing a lot for the money follows the child. So it's $17,500 on average per year. In 2024, it was $15,740 per year per child. And then you hear all of this riffraff on, well, they have buses and they got this. And I took my kid to school, okay? And for $8,000 a year, I'll figure out a way to get my kid to school for a better education. I'm going to tell you right now, my parents were fantastic. God rest their souls. Thank you so much. I never stepped foot into a public school. I always went to private school, and so did my son. But it cost me $10,000 a year in 2003 to do so. Was it worth it? If you meet my son, you'll say absolutely. So the next thing, we're going to look tonight at how the taxes work here and whether we're looking at data centers and they're looking at casinos. Okay, well, Charlie will cover that. Is it worth having a tax hike for a short-term pain for a long-term gain and not have casinos and not have data centers here? We did a 14-week report on this. If you want a copy of the report on data centers, let us know. We've been standing up with the Board of Supervisors. We've been giving them information. We've been hanging out with the EDA, environmental section of the county, with the board, making sure that they have the information. And our report really helped last week at the Small Business Freedom Alliance when they were covering this. Now, when we're looking at budgets, it's tariffs. Do you believe that Trump can pull this off with tariffs and the IRS and so forth? I do. Most people don't know what I'm talking about, but do some research. Maybe you'll feel the same way. So are taxes and tariffs based on the Donald J. Trump plan? Should that reconcile a lot as opposed to raising us eating the taxes for a while? Charlie's going to get a little bit more in depth. Now, the next thing is there are meetings on the data centers. I think one of them is it Sharando or Millbrook on Tuesday? One's next Tuesday. Millbrook. It's
next
Tuesday
week,
night.
Tuesday, not tomorrow night. A week.
Not tomorrow night. Next Tuesday, the 24th. There's another one at James Wood High School on the 26th. And then there's the Conservatives of Lake Frederick, which is a sister group of ours. Those guys are fantastic down in Lake Frederick. They have candidates coming in on Wednesday, the 25th. So we've got the 24th, the 25th, the 26th, the 27th, the 28th. There's something going on every night of the week. So we didn't want to leave anybody out and have you have nothing to do. So pick something and go. All right. So we got the data centers coming up. You can see the website for all kinds of details. Barbara has that up to date on the times, the dates, and schedules on what's going on there. We have a redistricting election on April 21st. Rodney will cover that. We have a statewide push. But I do want to show you something real quick. And let's see if I can get here. There is a young lady by the name of, I'm not going to do this right now. There's a young lady by the name of Amanda Chase. She has what's called the Honey Badger Report. It's called the honeybadgerreport.com. Charlie and I, Mountain Patriots, contributed $45 today, and next month we'll contribute 47. There's no, analogy or anything with that, but we figure we give her 45 to 47 to try to help her out. Okay, we've got to help out the people that are out there. She's broken down every bill and everything that's happening in Richmond right now. Next thing. Let's see where I am. Statewide Push Honey Badger Report podcasts. We're going to ask you. We have podcasts all over the place. If you're not on the email list, jump on our site, sign up, submit your information. Let us get stuff out to you. But please, to help us with our algorithms, just like it. Just like it. If you're only on there for 2 seconds, just like it. And then copy and paste it and share it to 4 or 5 of your friends. The faster we get the information out, the easier it is. People look at it and go, well, I'm going to watch a couple of minutes of this. Here's what's really cool about our podcasts. You can sit in the car and listen to it. Comes through your Bluetooth. All right. And with the help of our friend Adam, who is probably on here as well somewhere, he'll be talking with us tonight. With Adam's help, he's helping us with the AI portion of this, with our Riverside FM and our Buzzsprout and so forth. We've been doing some stuff to try to get that up and running. We just got hit with colds and a few other things. So that's our goal this week. I'm going to ask for some help here. I heard that the gun tax, we know that a lot of the taxes, we got in taxes, we got the kitchen sink thrown at us by Abigail Scamburglar. All right. So she wanted to tax walking your dog or taking a walk or your gym membership. I heard today, and I'm not sure if anybody can say yes or no, that the gun tax, the 11% on ammo was waived. Does anybody know? If you do know, if you find out, let me know, put it in the chat. But a lot of these taxes, a lot of this stuff, guys, was thrown at us to wake you up. There's enough in her bills for anybody to hate. Okay. You might like redistricting, and you might like the fact that your 2A amendments go away, but you might not be happy that it's costing you an extra $20 in taxes to wash your dog. Okay, so there's stuff in there for everybody to hate. Let's see. Many of the small taxes are taken out. It is going to get bumpy over the next few months. Okay, I am very impressed that we haven't seen more crazy stuff happen in the last 4 or 5 years. From what I understand, the military is in control. I absolutely believe that. We will have candidates visiting. We're going to be doing Zoom meetings. We're going to alternate between Zoom meetings and our in-person live meetings. Charlie will tell you about that in a second. But we will be having the candidates visit us in person. I do not want to do a Zoom meeting with a candidate. I want to see them talk, walk, how they handle themselves. I want to shake their hand. I want to look them right in the eyes. So that's coming up. We have quite a few candidates that want to see the Mountain Patriots. Also, on our website is also the membership. We're not looking for, if you want to help donate, it really helps us, guys. I mean, it does. It really does. $5, $10, buy us a coffee, whatever. But what helps us also is our checklist on what you might be interested in the 20 spheres of influence we have. Maybe you're something in holistic. Maybe you work with schools. Maybe you work with radios. Maybe you're interested in kids. Maybe you're interested in trafficking. Whatever. There's a list there. And if you're willing to help us out with that, check the box off and send it back to us so we know what one of our ministries to put you into. Everything there's calendars up there. The videos are on the website. You can find all of our stuff at MTN Pats, okay, or wakeupwinchester.com. And keep in mind, again, next Tuesday and Thursday, Millbrook is on Tuesday night for the data centers. Thursday night, the 26th at James Wood.
Wood, yeah.
At James Wood, and Alan Ronda Torres of Confederates, Conservatives of Lake Frederick have their meeting next Wednesday night. They support us, guys. We're going to support them. We are a community, and that's what we do. So we have got a lot to cover tonight. We have our good friend Rodney, who is the election integrity guru, for lack of better terms. when it comes to, he's been doing this stuff for a year. The guy lives on Zoom meetings, he has for years. And if there's somebody he needs to take to task, he does. So I asked Rodney to come on here and spend some time with us, about 10 minutes to cover the redistricting. So, Rodney, are you here, my friend? Yeah, you are.
Yep, I sure am.
All right, Rodney, I'm going to go on mute, man. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Couple
Hey,
things.
Rodney, we're
Yeah.
recording. Okay, so you know,
So what?
we're just recording.
Okay.
Go for it, buddy.
I look, brother. I'll say what I gotta say, and you
Say
like
it
it or
however you
don't.
want to say it.
All righty. So before I get to the redistricting part, there's a couple bills you guys need to uh, get hold of our delegates and our state senators. SB 1009. That's the ranked choice voting I told you about the last time I was on here. That needs to be voted down. They're they're changing that and allowing that for all local offices instead of just the board of supervisors or the municipality like the city councils. Another one to shoot down is HB 1213. This is a House bill that further diminishes voter IDs by allowing voters with no IDs to sign a statement of identity, which they all already can do, but now without providing the last four of the Social Security number. In that bill, it actually says, and the add the last four, if any. It's not necessary, if any. So they're giving it where they're just being blatant about allowing people who don't have social security numbers to swear they are who they say they are and vote without an ID or a social security number. Another one is SB, the Senate Bill 831, which challenges it covers the challenges of qualified voters. They call that qualified voters, but the actual challenge now is if
What
you
is that
were
called,
to
Rodney? I'm sorry. What is that bill called?
challenges of qualified voters, that's the first part. I think there's three more segments of the title, but
I know
it's
you were working on that.
SB Senate Bill 831.
831. Okay.
And so if Dana goes in and swears that he's Charlie and
Oh, I wouldn't do that.
Charlie's wife is there and says that's not Charlie, you as a voter who knows that that's not Charlie can no longer challenge him as a voter. Whereas
Yeah.
right now you can when this law passes, if it passes, which I expect it to because Democrats are dumbasses. Um, they will no longer be able to challenge voters. The only people who can do that is an officer of election. And I can tell you that that's probably not going to be challenged because most precincts have around 35 to 400 or 3,500 to 4,000 people in Frederick County, and you don't they're spread out and people don't know each other anymore. But if you knew a person, you were and actually currently are able to challenge a person if they're they're not the person that they're purporting to be. But with this bill passage, that will no longer be the case. Excuse me. So on Friday, the Supreme Court of Virginia passed on upholding the law um, can, in reference to redistricting.
Right.
Jack Hurley, the Tazewell District judge,
Right.
wrote a pretty impressive piece, but there is a previous precedent that the Supreme Court is relying on, saying that the actual election or the vote on the redistricting has to go forward before it can be challenged. Now, despite what's being put out there, they did not say this is okay. They said we're passing until the election is done. But they also put out that it is that has to be a prompt response to that. So the arguments before the before the Virginia Supreme Court about redistricting will happen on April 23rd. So they're going to let the election go. And this is the simple question of should we have redistricting? We want to vote no. We want to put that word out, vote no on the 21st. Signage will be available through the FCRC. Um, and there'll be different, we're going to do phone bank callings, and there's going to be mailings and text mailings that go out too. Um, if you read in the Virginia, let's see if I can find it. Trying to find the exact. Yeah, I don't think I can find it right now. Um, in the Virginia Constitution, in redistricting, it covers that the new districts have to be contiguous and compact. So if you look at any of the proposed new districts, none of them are contiguous. Well, I'm sorry, part of them are contiguous, but none of them are compact. There's a couple that are not contiguous. I mean, it's side by side. So there's actually taking a piece of Orange County and putting it with a piece of Northern Virginia and calling that the same district, even though they're not touching. And then, of course, compact is not a long string that's drawn out and twisted around like the pictures of the maps that they have. So that'll be a big argument. There'll be the ensuing general election between the first reading or the first vote and then the second vote in the House and Virginia Senate is going to be an argument that has not been met. I don't expect this to stand, but it's going to be a you never know what's going to happen in the Virginia Supreme Court. There are a bunch of liberals in general, so it'll probably have to go to SCOTUS. I would expect a quick response from SCOTUS, hopefully.
Okay.
I'm sure they'll be getting a lot of pressure from U.S. congressmen and senators who are going to lose their jobs.
Right.
Well, the U.S. congressmen specifically.
But this wouldn't be in effect until when? If they go through the redistricting.
If the redistricting goes through, it will be in effect for the midterms.
A year from November.
This year.
This year.
Oh, this year.
In November, yes.
That's why they're trying to do it. This is so important, guys.
Yeah, what they're saying is that they temporarily need to change the Virginia Supreme or the Virginia Constitution to make the allocation of districts fair, which is a total crock.
Right.
If you look at it, it's 5-4. That pretty much is a good reflection of the voters in Virginia, red versus blue. But 10 to 1 or 9 to 2 certainly is not a reflection of it. So that will be interesting to see how fast it goes through. But you guys have any questions about anything?
I think I'm pretty good to go here, my brother. Anybody have a question? This is why it's so important. Okay, we can't wake up in April and go, "Hey, what happened?" So, I mean, this is the job of everybody, anybody, somebody, and nobody. If you know that story, you know what I'm talking about. It was nobody's job, so let's just nobody's get out there.
This will be an election with only one thing on the ballot, and that is the redistricting.
Yes.
One question only, yes.
Yeah, so the turnout is going to be dismal.
It is, but this is one of the most important elections that we have.
It is.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So get the word out. Tell your families if of all the elections, it's okay to skip. This is not one. Well, there's none that's okay to skip, but this one certainly is one of the least ones you want to skip.
And this is April 21st?
April 21st. And then the arguments will go before the Virginia Supreme Court on the 23rd of April. All righty. I have another Zoom starting right now.
Excellent, brother.
Thanks, Rodney.
Thank you, Rodney. I will
Yes,
catch up
sir.
with you. You and I will have a long talk. Thank you for
All
being
right.
here.
Yeah, have a good one. See ya.
All right. The next we have our one of our favorite buddies. We worked our tails off to get this young lady in. She is our commissioner of the revenue. And Tanya has done an awful lot to help out the community. She's as straight a shooter as you can possibly get. And I asked her if she would help us out. So I'm going to pull something up tonight, and she's going to explain a couple things about what's going on. Tanya, are you here?
I am.
All right,
Hello, everybody.
did my screen share?
Okay, yes, that is perfect. If you look on our high mileage, tomorrow is your last day to enter it in. And the information that we're going to need is we're going to need either your oil change ticket in the past year, because they'll have your mileage on there, or an inspection ticket. We need that information because without it, we cannot just take a picture of your odometer. We have to have that concrete information to be able to put through the system. But if you page on down through that, that high mileage, if you pull that up, if you go to fcva.us and just in the search link, put in high mileage, it'll give you the information that you need. And you can even see if you qualify. I mean, I want everybody to take advantage of anything that we have in place to help you lessen the burden of your taxes. Okay. So that's they even have motorcycles on there. It's not just about your regular vehicles. Does anybody have any questions in regards to that?
Can you give us an
If we
idea
get our-
of the range of the mileage that qualifies?
Okay, well, the range of the mileage, say you purchased a 2026 vehicle. If you were over 5,001 miles, you're going to get a discount.
If you were over, what is that again?
Okay, so if you have a brand new, we'll say a brand new vehicle,
Right.
And say it's a 2026 and you're over 5,001 mile, you qualify.
If you're over
So
what
it-
again?
it
How
all
about with old cars?
What? Okay, say it's a 2015. If you have 140,001 mile,
140,001 miles. Okay.
you qualify. So if you actually go to FCVA, if you go onto our website, you can actually pull up the graph.
It
What's
says
the website again?
FC.
F is in
F-
Frederick, C is in county, V is in Virginia, A is in Apple, .us.
Okay.
Okay. And see there he just scrolled down. You can see the breakdown. So if you have a much older vehicle and you've got 200,000 miles, people are like, well, I shouldn't have to do this every year. Well, the benefit is it could actually lower what you're paying. After you get past that mileage, you're pretty much grandfathered in. But you want to present it every year so that you can continue to have reduced taxes.
Tanya, so let me ask you a question. If you had a car last year that had the high mileage on it to begin with, does that mean that they don't know that?
Oh, absolutely. But what happens if that mileage, we want you to submit it every year because it could actually have a greater savings for you. Because
Whoa.
all of that goes
So they
into
don't go by last year's record. So if I was already over the 140,001, they're
okay.
going to go. They're
I
going to go
want you
back.
to look at that. So that's a 2000 and say 15.
Yeah.
So no, because how much over that? So you have 144,000 miles.
Right.
So what's the next bracket? So your car is a year older. So it fluctuates every year.
Just do it every year.
I know it's crazy, but I am happy for anybody to email me, text me with pictures. I just
All
need
right.
to be able to pull up your
Let's
information.
do this again. So I just want to take a look at this again for everybody that's watching, so you're paying attention. So this is your minimum mileage and your maximum mileage. Where do I start,
Correct.
Tanya?
Correct. Okay, so say you applied last year and
Okay.
you had a 2019.
Right here.
You only needed to have 85,000 miles. This year you need 95,000.
So they raised it.
Correct. Every year it gets raised.
Why?
Why? Because
More money.
okay. Oh,
Why
I
not?
want you to process that. Okay, so you have a 2023. Why should you get a discount and you're not utilizing and putting that much wear and tear on your vehicle to where you would put you into the next bracket?
So if I'm over 200,000 miles, for example, okay,
You're grandfathered. You're
I'm already grandfathered.
Mm-hmm.
But if I broke 100,000 miles this year, if I got a 2,000, let's go down and look real quick.
Okay.
If
Well,
I've got a
You're looking at
2006,
motorcycles. Come on back up to the top. That's
go where?
Come on back up to the top where you were.
Okay.
Okay, right there. That's your vehicles.
Okay.
So why would somebody that has a 2025 only have to get
20,000 miles?
They have to hit 20,000. And last year, a 2025 vehicle, when it was in the 2026 spot,
Yeah.
had to be 10,000. They changed it.
So they raised it.
They did change it. That was from JD Powell.
The carrot and the stick.
That's a lot of miles.
It's
That
an extra
is.
10,000 miles. As we're getting older, Charlie, we're driving less.
This is true.
So we never catch up to those mileage. I mean, I used to do 50,000 miles a year.
Hold on 1 second. Now, Gabriel, go tell Daddy.
Wow. Okay, where else do you want me to go, Tanya? Is this and
Okay, that's pretty much it. But there's so much other that I would love to spend some more time and show you guys. Now, this is motorcycles.
This is motorcycles.
And that's pretty much a given. Motorcycles is really hard to get some of those miles on there.
Yeah, because you can only drive it on a nice day.
Correct.
Boy, man, they find every way of doing it, huh? So you would
no, because the motorcycles were never factored in previously. This is all new. This wasn't done till 2022.
So somebody would go to this site, okay, Commissioner of the Revenue, and they would go on the online vehicle
application,
fill it out, and submit it to you.
You can submit it to me or to personal property, as you see over there on the other side. But another thing you can do, just snap a picture of it and just text it to me. Let me know who you are, and I'll take care of it for you.
Did you guys catch that?
I
mean, if you've got something, we work with Tanya all the time. So you're a Mountain Patriot. If you print that form off and you think that you've got high mileage and you took a picture of it and you texted it to her, she's going to help you.
It's not just the form I need. I need a picture of your last inspection or oil change or service work.
That is too cool. Girl, I love you. Both you, your whole family is excellent, man. This is what Christian patriots do. They help each other out. Does anybody have any questions for Tanya? None?
Always remember, I'm available.
Yes. Hello. Hey, my car is 23 years old and it's got almost 250,000 miles on it. It's still bubbling along. So I just I had some repairs done, so I just bring in that paper, or do I bring it in physically, or do I photocopy it and email it to the?
You can email it or you can send it to me. Text it, email me, email my office with the picture of that. They are going to have the VIN number on it.
Yes.
and they're going to have your mileage. Those are the two things I need.
Yeah. Okay. So if I go to the website, I can find how to message it straight to you.
Yes. And I will put my personal phone number here.
Okay.
So you can even text me or call me.
Oh,
Okay. What do you mean here in the chat?
And yeah, I'm going to put my email and my
Okay.
everything in the chat. Sorry.
there you go, guys. Mrs. Seibert, you were fantastic as always.
I appreciate you. Let me turn me on mute again.
Anybody have any more questions? Anybody have a last question for Mrs. Seibert? Come on, where else can you get people like your commissioner of the revenue that's working with the community? I mean, it just doesn't happen.
Another thing that I want to stress is we really need to be vocal about our budget and really get out there and mention things. I also wanted, we can do it at the end also, but I have 2 gun events coming up.
Yeah, you want to talk about that real quick, and I'll see if I can't get them out to everybody.
Okay.
If you send me both of those flyers, I'll make sure it goes out in my constant contact. Everybody will have it.
Appreciate it. The first one is going to be coming up on the Thursday, the 26th. It is at Backseat Event
Backseat Bar and Grill.
The tickets are $75 a piece. They are for Friends of the NRA. And if you don't know the Friends of the NRA, it is a group that helps fund and educate kids. We're talking 4-H, we're talking Boy Scouts, we're talking different groups to help educate these kids on gun safety as well as shooting.
How to use it.
Which we need to get our kids involved with guns so they're not scared.
Yes.
And they know what we're fighting for. And then that is, if you need tickets for that, you can contact me personally. And the second one is the Armed for Liberty sweepstakes and banquet. Those tickets are $100 a pop. And
how many are they giving away, Tanya?
They usually
60?
Give away, 60 guns.
They're giving away 60 guns.
And then with that, that's a lot of fun too. They'll have prizes and games and such, just like the other the other gun event. But
the date and place.
The date that is going to be on the 28th, and you can contact Steve or Sarah Kale for those tickets, or me. I can get those for you.
Sarah Kale is the clerk of court.
Now, the money and the fundraising for this is actually going to conservative candidates.
This is like your PAC.
Correct. Because what happens is sometimes when we give money to different organizations, they limit how much you can give or who you can give to. With this, they've actually have been able to support some of the school board candidates in the past that were conservatives, and they were able to verify.
What was the price again?
This is called Liberty Sweepstakes and Banquet, Armed for Liberty.
And the price?
And these are $100 a ticket. It starts at 6 o'clock. They open the doors. The sweepstakes begins at 6:30. And the guns start being announced at 8:30 who wins.
Very cool. We had a blast last year at the what was it, the Elks Club?
Now the one on Thursday night at Backseat, that's one that I'm very passionate about because I want to really push for our kids to understand their gun rights, how to handle a gun and gun safety, as well as how to shoot. Gabriel, I'm on the Zoom. My son's at the other end of the table. My apologies.
Okay.
Hi, I'm on son.
Thank you.
Is that one a gun auction as well on the 26th?
The way that one is set up is it's more of an auction for those. Plus, you can buy tickets for different. There'll be like raffles for different guns. Like it might be $20 for a knife, and that puts you into the drawing for a specific gun.
Pretty cool. So, and the other one is a gun giveaway, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And they will also have an auction as well for some different things.
Very cool.
Have been donated.
All right, guys. Any last questions for Mrs. Seibert? Tanya, thank you so much, man. You rock. And I'll stop in the office. We'll have lunch someday this week. She's excellent.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Here we go. Now we're going to jump into my buddy Charlie. He's going to cover a lot of the stuff that has to do with membership, where we're going with that, the schedule for these meetings that we're proposing to make it bigger. There's a campaign that Rodney was talking about with John Massoud, how to get money for the redistricting, and his update on the data centers, a casino, and so forth. Charlie, it's all yours, my friend.
Okay, thanks, Dana.
This is a big deal, guys. Listen up.
Okay, as Dana's already mentioned, the membership, we have we're going to get our form onto the website so that you can go on the website and download it and find
It's
that.
on.
It's on the website now.
Yeah.
And but we also like to be able to collect the money at the face-to-face meetings that we have at the clubhouse. So however you want to do it, we appreciate the fact that most everybody is contributing and helping us out with that, because we have our bills, the repeater, a variety of things, the subscriptions to the software to take care of. So we appreciate any and all help that you can give us that way.
And Charlie also mentioned, real quick, guys, anytime somebody has needed help, their car broke down or something happened or their mortgage or whatever the case may be, we have been there to just help people out. So that's where most of it goes.
It is.
Yeah, I mean, somebody's car, it's $1,200, and we're like, here, go get your stuff done. We got to keep going.
So he also mentioned the meeting schedule. We'd like your opinions on this,
Yes.
But we're considering the first and the third Monday to be online Zoom call like this, and the second and fourth Monday to be in person at the clubhouse. Did I get that right? Or yeah. And then there are some months with the fifth Monday. So we haven't decided what to do with that yet, but some suggestions include, well, why don't we have sort of a social meeting somewhere, maybe a restaurant, on the fifth Monday, without a big program, but maybe a speaker. We'll have to see depending on the venue. And another alternative is on a Monday in nice weather to meet at the pavilion where we met early on. Just kind of reminisce and just enjoy the outdoors and have our same meeting. Any other ideas that you have for that fifth Monday, we'd appreciate your putting it in the chat, and we'll consider that. But we've seen a benefit from having this Zoom meeting,
right,
with
others.
So many people being able to attend that wouldn't otherwise be able to make it to the clubhouse, as well as the weather affecting us, like Dana mentioned. So that's really the schedule part of the agenda. Another item that I want to talk about is data centers and the budget of the county. The reality of data centers is that we would see some income, the county would see some income in 5-6 years before we would see any income from a data center. But in the meantime, our budget, we're way over budget. We've got a deficit budget at this point and no way to fill it, because the last several years, the Board of Supervisors has filled it by rating the fund for future construction, and they've been able to balance the budget that way. which is not the right use of the future construction money for that we've been saving up. Now they're out of it. So they're going to be faced with an increase in taxes to balance the budget. That's going to be a toughie because so many people, including me, including all of us, we don't want Spanberger to raise our taxes on our guns or anything else. But here we in Frederick County, which is a well-run county, are facing a tax increase in the near term. And there's another thought that we need to doge our county, like they doged the federal government, except that we are one of the better run counties in the state. Our numbers are better than average. So there's probably very little that we can find. I'm sure we can find some, but it's not going to be enough to make up that $40 million shortfall.
No.
So
I feel bad for the board in some respects, guys,
Yeah,
because they kicked the can down on these guys 20 years ago. So people are listening to this and you share this. We want people to know that the Mountain Patriots are trying to do everything we can to help out the community and help the Board of Supervisors and the school board. We're not here to throw stones at it. We're here to work with you.
And part of the what we hear are people saying we don't want data centers here. Well, I just as soon not have them here either. You know, we're funding our own demise by building data centers so they can keep tabs on us. But that issue is a moot point relative to our little corner of the world. If we can, and this is what the whole premise of what I'm pushing for, is to get regulations in, get policies in, get ordinances in that not the right word, that reduce the impact of data centers such that we don't even notice them. And that was why I was pushing for underground data centers. And you know, you can't claim it's high tech because I'm a civil engineer. If you need something buried, I can help you. All you got to do is dig a damn hole and build it and fill stuff in on top of it. It's not high tech. So we, and there's considerations you have to make, obviously, you know, stronger roof, stuff like that. But if we can get an ordinance in or a policy in that says you will supply your own cooling, you will not use local water, except for your office spaces. If we can tell them you need to be self-contained in your energy consumption,
right?
Then they have to figure that out. And there's a variety of ways. Now that's a double-edged sword because then they need more. They'll pollute more from whatever they come up with. The long-range solution is a small nuclear packaged power plant to run a handful of data centers locally at a campus. Yeah. But the point is, if we can avoid the water issue, if we can avoid the power issue, if we can avoid the ugly scenery issue
and the cleanup,
then why not have a data center that's going to produce some money so that we don't have to increase our taxes, or so that in the future we can then reduce our taxes and take advantage of that. And there's a whole lot we need to know about how they bill. Because if they have a nonprofit that they're billing their equipment to or renting their equipment to,
we all know about NGOs.
Then we the county don't get money from that usage. Anyway, Tanya knows all about the ways that they can get around providing us revenue, but being on top of it is really the answer as far as data centers go.
Got the casino too, Charlie.
Yeah, and casinos fall in that same category of something that is undesirable. So in terms of that, and in data centers, what might be logical is let's push for a moratorium for a year. I mean, because what's happening right now, well, not right now, it's impending. They're going to be putting 2 data center projects on the table in the next couple of months. And that's where the rubber's going to meet the road. You know, on one of those sites, we've already refused it once. They're coming back a second time. And we have to deal with the reality of what we're facing. So that all of that is also why it's important to go to those 2 meetings next week. Sign up, stand up, and say in 2 or 3 minutes what your thoughts are on data centers. And my recommendation is to push for the points that I've been making tonight. Use that and being respectful. It's my opinion that we can't go there and insist that they do not have any data centers. That's a non-starter. So let's insist that they do it right and there's no impact on the community when they do it. I think that's it for data.
Well, Charlie, you and I'll expand on it because you and I had a great conversation. And let me back up a little bit to the beginning of this meeting. I spent a few days, actually, I spent a few months, and then I started asking other questions and doing research on what it costs for this and that. I explained earlier that public schools are $17,500. Where's that money going to? Okay, and what are we getting for it? Or a private school is $8,500 or $9,000. When we're looking at data centers or ways to bring in revenue into our neighborhood or our properties and so forth,
our county.
In our county, is it worth? We don't know. There's a lot going on right now when it comes to the IRS, when it comes to tariffs. There's just so much going on with central bank, metals. There's so many things that have been hidden from us for so many years that nobody's ever told us were available, that we're just starting to wake up and learn, which is where Charlie brought up the moratorium idea. Is it worth maybe having our taxes go up a little bit for a while to find out what happens, and hopefully, or maybe we're able to tariff our way out of this because the IRS is gone. We don't mind our taxes going up because maybe federal is gone, no tax on tips, for example, or no tax on Social Security. Will that help us out and soften the blow so that we don't have to put in something that we don't want? The one thing you don't want to do, or I don't think anybody wants to do, is do something or feel pressured into doing something and then later on going, daggone it. It's like if anybody's had a divorce, you know what that's like. I mean, you got yourself into a position and you're going, why did I ever do this? Now it's going to cost me this much. Why do people spend the money on a divorce? Because it's worth it. No, but it's worth it. But I mean, is it going to be worth it to us later on? So if we're willing to pull together and figure out how we can work in our county and maybe kick that can down a road for another year, we're not going to get anything out of a data center for a few more years. Things can change overnight. And I'm looking at what's going on in Minnesota. I'm looking what's going on in California. All these different states. We're looking at election fraud in Arizona. How does that, if they find out that the elections were wrong, how does that change the laws that have already been passed that happened 4 years ago if those people aren't actually legally able to make those votes? There's a lot of things that I've studied with there. And I talked to Charlie about this earlier, and it has to do with Trump and his presidency, the executive branch, and national security. Little homework for you. I'm only going to tell you this, and you can go look it up. Write this down. This is the Article 2. Okay, this is the vesting clause for national security in executive order written by Obama, 13526. take a look at 13526. What are the powers that are granted to Trump under national security with all of the things that have happened in the last 4 years? We all knew that they cheated. Okay. Charlie and I talked about this the other day. How can you have 120% of the people vote in a state? I mean, we're lucky if we get 30% of the people out there. What do we? Let's see if we can get 120%, Charlie. When we do the redistricting, 120% of the people say no. All right. So take a look at some of this stuff that has to do with national security. Going back real quick to the redistricting. John Massoud has something going on right now. It's $25. $25 gets a bunch of text messages out there. It buys signs. We're trying to do a campaign where we might be able to get signs that say, and we talked about this last night, Charlie and Gunny and I and Scott and Wayne, Jim. We were talking about putting up memes on Facebook that says redistricting. That's a big no. Redistricting. Virginia does not want. We've got to get the word out, and we've got to get it out there strong and powerfully that we don't want certain things to happen. If we can scroll through our Facebook and look at stuff and make posts on social media, it only takes a second to pass some of that stuff on. Or make a post and let people know what you think about that. Or even with these podcasts, copy, paste it, send it to somebody else.
So also, there's nothing wrong with making a sign and going down to Pleasant Valley Road and Jubal Early and walking back and forth with a sign. I mean, that's what they do. Why don't we do it?
There's a lot we can do, and we're going to be talking about
those kind of signs get a lot more eyes on them than a sign in your front yard.
Yep.
So,
and if they can do it, we can do it. We just can do it peacefully. But these meetings on Monday night were supposed to be every other week, and all of a sudden we got hit with Scam Burglar being our governor, and we said, there's no way that we can walk away from this. We have one shot. This is it. 2026 is the biggest year that we will ever face for ourselves and our children. So I'm going to stop there. And Charlie, thank you. Do you have any last words, Charlie? Anything you want to add?
No, I think I'm good. I have started a list of memes of phrases to put on memes that we could share with everybody, so you can post them on all of your social media. Pick one a day or something like that, and get them out. Write letters to the editor. We need to hit those letters to the editor real strong. They don't have to be long, but just saying redistricting. I don't want that. We don't want that. It's unfair. It has nothing to do with fairness that the Democrats are saying. Just a short paragraph and send it in as a letter to the editor. When I say send it in,
the editor will print it?
What?
Do you think the editor would print it?
Sure.
Why not?
Yeah, they're pretty good about that. And if you go on the Winchester Star website, you find where you can add open forum or letters to the editor. You go to that page, you type in your name, your phone number, your address, and in the box, you cut and paste whatever it was that you'd written that you want the letter to the editor be, and hit send. That's all you got to do. You don't have to find an email or a person or send it to anybody. Just go on the website and fill it. And it's the same way with open forum. You have a 500-word epistle that you've written. You copy it and you paste it into the little box, and bingo, it's submitted.
I'll say this, Charlie.
It may take a few days to get published, but
I can guarantee they will not print anything in the Winchester Star that you don't send.
That's true.
Seriously. I mean, and I'm gonna wrap it up with this. I'm gonna turn it over to Adam. There's a lot of petitions that are out there. You know, we shot down a lot of these ridiculous nickel dime taxes that Uber stuff and so forth that Spamberger put in here. Okay. But that went through National Federation of Independent Business, because if the NFIB sent out a questionnaire, yes or no, fill it in, send this to your delegate. Same with 2A. Or anything. When you see something like that, take a couple minutes, read it, and if it fits your narrative, hit send, and then share it with a couple other people to make sure that they send it. So with that, Charlie, I'm going to say thank you, and I'm going to pass it over to Adam. And I'll tell you guys, you all have heard from a lot of people with J6. We've heard from Chip, who's up in New York. We've heard from the Caldwells. And what they've done to a lot of these people is it's unconscionable. And you know, it's funny that if you do something right, you get nailed for it. And if you go and you burn a capital down or a city down, you get a promotion. Okay, it just depends on what side of the aisle you're on. All right. But this is really important. The health of our coalition and our people is so important, and what they've done to a lot of these people in J6 is unconscionable. So I asked Adam and Chris if they would jump in and explain to you guys what's going on and see what we can do to help them. All yours, Adam.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Good to see you, buddy.
Everybody hear me, see me?
Yeah, man.
So first, just a little update from the tech world. I'm calling up Whirl right now. We're going to get him on the line. But Kim.com, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the hacker world at all, but he was a big deal hacker. Has been around a long, long time, more than 20 years. He just made a major drop about Palantir. And something big is cooking in the water, because he accused them of being deep state, basically. And it has caused major fallout within the board of Palantir itself. There are a number of senior developers who have now said that everything is true. I want nothing to do with this. I can't live with this type of thing. And they're now squealing on Peter Thiel, on the Palantir management. And so that is happening in real time. And I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of update. I think that's going to be a developing story.
That's huge.
That's
your freedoms, guys.
Right. I know you guys have talked about it a little bit before. But it's such a big deal, you know, as we watch things crumble apart. What they want to happen is to funnel us into this digital surveillance state where we have no freedom and we have no choice. And right now we're all kind of seeing, you know, what are we the people going to do if we find out this evil is running rampant through our land and has control of our infrastructure? Are we going to sit on our hands? Not you guys, but the average person. Are they going to just sit there and take it? And I think they didn't expect the answer to be a resounding no. We're not going to take it. We're not going to take it at all. And as a matter of fact, we're going to throw everything that we have at this. And they didn't really see that coming, which is why I consider this a really hopeful time. What Chris and I are coming on tonight about is there's a really, really crazy thing that's happening with J6. You know, we smooth it over because it's 5 years ago and people know who wants to talk about stuff from 5 years ago. But due process broke on that day. You know, I have a document that's going around in Congress right now, and it leads with this line: deaths from medical neglect. You know, that's the very, very first line. Documented medical neglect resulting in death. And if you're allowed to persecute prisoners, if you are allowed to deny medical rights, if you are allowed to over-radiate people, which is something that Chris is going to talk about when he comes on, that's what's done to Bart Shively. A lot of the people put reports that, you know, they denied him, and then when he finally complained for long enough, loud enough, when they did give him the radiation, they gave way too much, and he had wounds seeping, and he had terrible, terrible pain and discomfort, couldn't sleep, couldn't eat. And these are American citizens on American soil, you know. And it's not just him. Bart's not the only one that died, believe it or not. If you go and you look at another couple of guys, there was
Caldwell. Look at Caldwell, Adam.
Right. Right. There was
I
Caldwell.
mean, holy cow.
There was Julio Baquero III, stage 4 gastric cancer, died June 19th, 2024, reports directly link outcome to inadequate delayed medical response. And so if we don't get behind this medical malpractice, medical neglect, malicious persecution, basically cruel and unusual punishment parading as due process, then that is the worst slippery slope we possibly can be on, because that affects you now. That's not in the future, that's now. If you get to the point where the Democrats get back in office and all of us here are being politically persecuted for what we're doing right now, they then have the option, if this never got fixed, we have this narrow little window while Trump's still in to fix this, or they're coming. They're coming. They made it very clear. When I was sitting there in that meeting for the Democrats only, what are we going to do with J6 with the spooky music and the added graphics and all the other little dumb Hollywood stuff they do to grab people by their emotions instead of using facts? They said, we are coming for you and your families. We're now branching out persecution to we're coming for your family too. And I don't think that if you look deep inside yourself, that can stand as an American. It just cannot. It just cannot. Where I'm still trying to reach Chris and bring him on for his testimony.
He's right here, bud.
I'm here, bro.
There he is. Chris, I want to turn it over to
He's
you.
right next to
I've
you.
been here.
And talk a little bit about your experience and what you saw
Please.
and your feelings on this, because you're living it, brother.
And we're trying to help Chris any way we can. We've already been going, he and I have been going back and forth trying to figure out what we need to do. All yours, Chris.
I'm Chris Worrell, guys. You can look me up. I'm internationally Googled. This is my assessment, and I know many of my brothers in J6 and outside of J6 share this sentiment. Now, the truth. Look, first of all, we were all persecuted for our truths. There's a problem there, it needs to be corrected. But the bigger problem was the intentional attempted canceling of lives of J6ers in the DC gulag. They manipulated our food. We didn't eat their food. We lived off commissary, thanks to any of those that are on here that donated to somebody. That's how we lived. There was no medical. There was no self-care. There was nothing. And it was so egregious in nature that my judge, Lamberth, held the DC DOC director and the warden in contempt of court when they got caught maliciously editing whatever you want to talk about in my medical records, and then refused to give a specific medical record that I made reference to, that we let the court know existed, that they did not give. And it was as simple as an orthopedic surgeon's note saying, my hand needed surgery because I broke it. It wasn't even about my cancer, guys and girls. So think about that. That's a psyop in nature. They're going to pick on the hangnail over the death of the life-changing disease that I've had since 2007. All the while telling me, we're not giving you your previously prescribed meds because we know better than your oncologist of 20, 30 years, however, and all that. And then while I was home, I finally got released after 8 months, 9 court attempts to go home, but I was deemed a danger to my community. My first court hearings were in front of the Antichrist former Chief Judge Beryl Howell. Can you guys still hear me? Something happened here.
Yes, we hear you, Chris.
Okay.
Yes.
And then it was maintained, throughout every oral and written motion written by William Dreher, who is my prosecutor out of Seattle. He maintained all the way through from the beginning, from my arrest March 12th, all the way through sentencing on January 4th, 2023, that I faked and fabricated my illnesses. And if he didn't use that term 30 times, it was probably 40 to 50.
Wow.
So the criminal, and I want to put this disclaimer out there because I know many of you guys know this. Look, our Department of Corrections and our Bureau of Prisons is abhorrent without J6. They treat you like scumbags. But they took that mistreatment and accelerated it by a large amount. I was supposed to go to the Butner Federal Medical Center in North Carolina, per Judge Lambert. After being moved around 7 times in 12 months, 5 of those stops to the same 2 facilities here in Florida, North Florida, Tallahassee, and then all the way in Miami by buses, Con Air, you name it. Black boxes, you all can look this stuff up. It's extreme. Yeah. Diesel therapy like crazy. And it took, thank God I had somebody in Congressman Byron Donald's office, and please don't think anything good about that man, but I was lucky and had his district director was a solid J6 supporter, Mercedes Price Harry. I'll blow her up. She knows I will. And she fed every bit of intel to my congressman for the entire, throughout, from my DC incarceration to the Federal Medical Center in Butner, where I was on the cancer floor for 6 months, 1 week short of that. For 6 months, they did nothing for me, but I watched new guys come into that floor getting treatments, quick, fat. It's happening. But I got nothing. 1 week short of 6 months, they booted me down the road to the low because I started filing grievances. And it's different filing grievances in the DC jail. We inundate them with pounds of it. In the BOP, it's very known that, at least before Trump, there was retribution and retaliation. And obviously I faced that because they sent me down the road to the low after an officer. I had a special job in the Federal Medical Center. I was allowed to be on suicide watch and watch you. Domestic terrorist, I'm allowed to watch suicide patients and take notes. Keep with me, folks. It gets kind of comical. I try to make some comedy out of it because it's so stupid. But that officer, when I wasn't feeling good now after being there, and I'm working a kitchen job 5 days a week, and I didn't see myself making it through my 2 hours of suicide watch that night, and I called out at 11 a.m. Keep in mind, I wasn't supposed to report till 6 p.m. That officer went around talking, I'm faking and fabricating too. So obviously I'm going, okay, this guy's read the affidavit. He's been fed the narrative. So that's what happened to me. That's what happened to others. And then the malicious medical that they're doing. I'm by no means a doctor, ladies and gentlemen, but I've been in the cancer world since 2007, and I've done an insurmountable amount of research. And I'll say this, the medical procedures, and I'll say this as a definitive, even though I don't have proof of what they did to Bart Shively. And Dana, I texted you 2 pictures of Bart. You can share them. Yeah. The over-radiation of patients, head and neck cancer. I had squamous cell carcinoma, guys. They took my lymph glands out, head and neck radiation for 6 months. What you're going to see on Bart's head, and what I saw on multiple inmates at the Federal Medical Center, when the amount of burns from the radiation, they didn't even do the surgeries. They just did the radiation. Because, see, they get to charge by the kilowatt, or God knows, I don't know what the term is that they use. Because I know that's how they bill it in the medical world, in the free world, not the prison world, so they can do the same thing. And they're over-radiating these guys. Their intention, you're worth more money dead at a certain point in the BOP. I have letters from guys, we had other jobs you could be, I could be a care provider. If so-and-so was in a wheelchair or he's that bad on chemo and radiation, he has somebody that's with him for a shift. And I have notes from two guys that took care of guys at the Federal Medical Center that were removed to the low too because they kept asking questions about the guy they're supposed to be helping. So when you ask too many questions, you get beat down.
What do we need to do, Chris? Tell us what we need to do, because I'm going to share with you guys. Chris sent me these pictures of Bart Shively.
Bart's a United States Marine combat veteran.
Oh my God!
I don't know what awards in that he has, but he's a United States Marine combat veteran.
This is insane.
And this enrages
That's
me,
right.
guys.
Distinguished service, guys.
Distinguished service.
This is insane.
The same disease Bart has is the same disease I have.
How old is he?
And I'm in a situation in life right now, and many J6ers, sadly enough, are, where I can't even get a job. I've had background checks pulled on me by multiple companies. They come back clear until you Google. I'm not even allowed to deliver your Uber cheeseburger, guys. I've been permanently banned. I delivered them while I wore this for the time I was home and took your kids to school, delivered your food and all that. But now I'm canceled.
What do we need to do?
Debanked the whole nine. Anything you guys can think of, it's happened to us. I know, look, if Adam didn't have his little niche he's got going on in DC, he'd be under a bridge too.
Right.
If I didn't have my wife with her full-time job, by the way, she lost her job of 20-something years working for Naples News here as an executive assistant because of J6. So
what do we need to do?
And what they want to do, I firmly believe this. What they wanted to do to J6ers and what they want to do to you and your people is if they can't kill us, they're not going to win.
They're going to do everything.
You got to be willing to sacrifice something. Whether it's your time, whatever. Because if we don't sacrifice, united we stand. They fall if we unite. And I've seen it in many communities. I live in West Miami here. We call Naples, Florida. I'm down here in Naples, guys. We call it West Miami. The gangs have moved in. It's a concrete jungle here now. It's not what it was 20-something years ago. That's their goal. That is their goal. To cancel out all of you gentlemen on here that have grandkids. My father and my son don't even talk to me. They live in town here. My father's a registered Republican his whole life. He refuses to believe that my story might have truth.
So let me ask you a question, Chris. In the essence of time, because we got to get rolling with this too.
Yes, sorry. You got to cut me off. I'll keep going.
Right. Well, we're going to interview you because I need to. Charlie, you know where we're going with this. You know exactly where I'm going with this.
Right.
Okay, and I'm going to get Adam's help for it. We're this close, Adam, to put your stuff in. Real quick, Chris, in about 30 seconds, what can we do?
Find a J6er that needs help and do what you can, whether it's a spiritual help with prayer over a phone, some monetary help, something. Because I'm telling you, the people that stood the line for this country are being persecuted for a reason.
Well, hey, I got something.
Adam will tell you.
Hit it. Adam can do this better than me. I'll tell you where my heart is, and I'm vile, guys. I apologize if I cross the line ever. I just tell it the way it is. I don't give you no sugar, nothing. You get the straight sulfuric acid with me because of what I've been through.
What were you going to say, Adam?
Two things. First thing, Chris is a hardworking dude, and he has been really helping J6. And if you could donate to his Give, Send, Go, I know that would really help him and his wife out with some medical bills and things that he's facing right now. Second thing, I just put an episode out with a really great guy, Lieutenant Colonel Douglas Clark, and he gives specific step-by-step instructions.
We know Doug Clark.
About how to force hand counts in your district, to force them.
World.
And so
force them.
If we can get more of those forced, we back these people into a corner, because of course they're still going to cheat, but that's not the point. You're not going to solve it by exposing it, but what you are going to do is paint them into a corner just a little bit harder. And you can see all over the world right now, the little guy, the butler, the dirty work guy is saying, you know what? this isn't going to work out for me in the long run. Maybe I ought to say something. And if we can just keep building momentum like you guys do all the time, if we can keep showcasing vignettes like Chris and other people that are like really succinct, specific cases of civil rights and due process violation, we can shove it right in their faces. You know, we have DC access. We can drop stuff off at offices. You know, we can be relentless. We can call multiple times a week.
Good.
We just have to keep the pressure on like you guys do.
You got
I
it,
love you
brother.
guys.
Listen,
Guys,
if I could add
thank
something,
you. Yeah,
if
real
I could
quick,
add
because I
something,
got to get Gunny on here.
I've listened to you guys for a couple weeks and everything you guys are fighting for in your state. It's great.
Thanks.
But all your fight is going to be useless if we don't correct the biggest crime to happen against American citizens in this country in history.
Yep.
And that's the weaponization of government against 1,600 of us. And they wanted more. They wanted more. And they wanted one of us to come out the front door and answer them in a manner in which they never got. And I want you all to think about that because we're the right-wing extremists.
Yeah. Chris, we
God
got your
bless you
back,
all.
brother.
God
We
bless.
got your back. And we're going to have Brother Wayne pray over you tonight, my friend. I'm telling you. The power of prayer is incredible, and he's gonna actually take us out with this. Adam, thank you for introducing me to Chris. He and I have gone back and forth. You and I have a lot to do to get this stuff out. And I've got Adam's latest his X reel from
Doug Clark.
1600 unscripted.
from Unscripted. 1600 Unscripted. Excellent. Gunny. He's good. Gunny's going to, because this is important, guys. You hear what these guys are saying. We have got to stick close. We've got to know exactly where each other is, and we've got to be able to take each other's and back each other. So I asked Gunny to say a couple words about what we got going as far as communications and prepping is concerned. All yours, Gunny.
Alrighty. Yeah, I'm just gonna hit a couple things. First thing is a get home bag. It's not a 72-hour bag, it's a get home bag. You got to keep it light, and too much weight will kill you if I had to go possibly 43, 50 miles to get home from where I would be. So and the things you want to make sure you include in that get home bag would be one, water, and a way to get more. Probably the better way to do it would be to have a compact water filter like a Life Straw, and either a collapsible bag to hold your water, or I personally would recommend a metal bottle, and it'll become obviously here in a little bit why I would recommend that. You want to make sure you got good shoes with you. I typically wear either hiking boots, or depending on the day, I sometimes have on dress shoes. I ain't coming home in dress shoes. That ain't working. So you want to make sure you have some kind of sneakers or hiking boots, something to protect your ankles and your feet. Also have some extra socks in there. And a blister kit possibly. You want to have some kind of weather protection that can be anything from a lightweight rain shell, a poncho, compact emergency bag, blanket. I personally recommend a tarp. Tarp is a 6x8. You can use it for a tent. You can use it to protect, to collect water. You can use it as a windshield, all that stuff. This time of year, you're going to want a hat and gloves. Next thing would be some way to navigate. If you're like me and you're coming from Northern Virginia, you can probably stay along the roads. Maybe not the best idea just because, well, you know what'll be on the roads. But maybe you have a compass, and you'll definitely want a flashlight or something like that. I recommend get one that you can use red as well as white, so that in the dark your red won't show up as much as your white one would, as well as make sure you got some extra batteries. Next item would be, well, going back real quick, don't forget your map. It could be a topographical map if you're going to go across. If not, your road map should get you fine. Next thing, you'll make sure you have a basic medical kit and some multi-tool with you. Nothing super fancy necessary, but definitely a tourniquet, which, well, obviously, if you have a major issue, will stop the bleed. You want the multi-tool, you want to have some kind of band-aids and stuff. Here again, you're looking at a blister kit. Then you're going to look at a fire starter, which is going back to your metal bottle. If you need to boil water, or you actually find something you can eat and you heat it up. This time of year, something warm, even just plain old hot water, while it wouldn't be my preferred way to do it, it would work. Next line item would be you're going to want some kind of protection for yourself, a full tang knife, a hole punch. You should understand what that is without me saying it. If not, text me, I'll let you know. The last thing I hit was you want to make sure you're able to communicate. That would be with your cell phone or your radio. And that brings us to one item. We are working on a way to communicate over our radios if there's a situation going on using memory verses. We haven't quite narrowed it down, but the idea would be that you'd every night, every time we communicate, which is twice a week, Sundays at 1800, 6 p.m., and Tuesdays at 1930, 7:30 p.m. And at the end or near the end, we would use a Bible verse, but there would be specific Bible verses that are dedicated that if they are said, that's your heads up, that's your warning that lets you know, hey, look, something's coming down range or you need to head to a certain spot and location. That's pretty much all I got. I know it was fast, but I also know that we got a lot to go and not much time to get there. Got any questions?
Anybody question for Gunny? I will hit you. I will hit you on this. What he's talking about with the Bible verse at the end, what we do is a Bible verse. Okay, every time. And then if something is going to happen, we will know based on where you are and what group you're in. We will say a certain Bible verse and you'll know exactly where to be and where to go and what to do. Those are the three things: where to be, where to go, what to do. And there'll be specific Bible verses because people aren't listening to regular Bible verses. Okay. And we do Bible verses because we do Bible verses anyway. Okay. But at the same time, we can be able to communicate at the same time. So, Gunny, thank you. And he's one of the. We do need somebody else that's willing to do to learn it. I mean, it's real easy. We hand you a script and a bunch of and a page of call signs, and you say this is WRUM 644 to WRML 428.
You mean for the net? For
the net. So just to be able to practice in that, you understand how it works. Gunny, thank you. And when we get back into the clubhouse, we'll be doing hands-on training with this. So now I'm going to pass it over to Scott because he's got some stuff to cover with us. And we're talking about consequences and what's going on with schools and what we need to be looking at. It's all yours, Scott.
Well, I mean, I don't know specifically what you want me to focus on. So,
well, I wrote it out for you.
Huh?
We last night we covered out the school walkout.
Well, we had the walkout here in Frederick County. They were protesting ICE, and the Supreme Court back in 1969 in Tinker versus Des Moines said students have the right to peacefully and symbolically protest. They can wear armbands, T-shirts, make signs, and those things, but school walkouts are treated differently. And this past Thursday, the 4 area high schools had a walkout, and me being on the school board, plus being the correctional officer for the last 36 years, I tend to treat things a little differently than the average person does sometimes. Mm-hmm. So my thought was, well, then just suspend them. And I was told, no, you can't do that. We're going to make them have an unexcused absence. And so when they had their walkout Thursday, they went back in one of the high schools. After they got back in, there's video of them walking back into the school screaming F ICE, acting like a bunch of butt faces. And I got a little upset, called the superintendent. And again, you need to suspend each and every one of those students that were doing that. And I did a little bit more research here, and I found out that schools cannot punish students more harshly just because the absence was for a protest. So discipline must be the same as for any other unexcused absence. I don't know what we do for unexcused absences here. I'd have to research it, but my thing was suspend them all, but nobody else on the school board or in the school offices wanted to do that. So
Scott, let me ask you this. I talked to a few people earlier. I used to sell candy bars in school in 5th grade. I was making about $20 a day back in the early 70s. That was a lot of money when you sell a Big Buddy or a Charleston Chew or a whatever. But they frisked me, they busted me, and I had to peel all the gum off of the bottoms of the desks for weeks. So that was my punishment. If I didn't have my homework, if I didn't show up for school, if I was late, there were consequences. And I learned that, as you all have, that there are consequences for your actions. And this is just my feeling. I think it's time that if we want these kids to be able to stand on their own and be good, conscientious, hardworking, responsible, critical thinking members of society, there's got to be something that we say to the school board. I brought it down. I brought it up earlier. We're paying $17,500 per student. That's a lot of money. Okay, so for my $17,500, I want to make sure that these kids are going to be able to take care of me in my old age, or they're going to be able to bring up children in our age, and I'm not going to be a grandfather bringing up my kids' kids. We already have that. We've seen how that goes. I didn't see my parents bringing up kids. You're doing it right now, Scott. Okay, you know what it's like, and it's one generation away.
The one thing that I thought about through this whole mess, again,
this is a big.
I'm more of a hammer guy on certain things. Again, 36 years of corrections. I've had to go through a lot more than other people have, so I approach it differently. But I thought through this whole thing. Okay, if there's no consequence other than an unexcused absence, now you let these kids get on the job, wherever that may be. They don't like the way McDonald's treats them, or they don't like the way whatever employer they get. They want to walk out and protest. They're not going to have that job anymore. They've not learned that life lesson, and then they're going to be the victim. And it's the same thing in Minneapolis with those two people that got shot. Am I sorry that they got shot? Yes, I am. But they brought that on themselves because of the way that they acted. There were consequences to their actions, and that's what we don't teach people anymore. There are consequences to your actions.
Hey, Scott, I have a question.
Yes,
Martha. I read an article in the newspaper on Friday, from Friday's paper, that it said Young Voices for Winchester, something like that, was the organizing thing. Now, who are these people? Because in 2018, I was out in Oregon visiting family and friends, and there had been one of those walkouts in honor of St. Greta of the perpetual climate fear. And there was a flyer that had been passed out to these kids. One of my girlfriend's granddaughter was involved in this, and it was from the Socialist Party.
Well,
I will send you a copy of this. I've got it on my phone.
Please.
And I want to know if these guys are are they affiliated with that kind of an organization? Who are they themselves? And
this group in particular it's from what I've been told is a student-led, quote unquote. It's an Instagram page where I don't have Instagram, so I don't get in it.
I'm not allowed on. I got booted off.
But Rodney. Say again, Dana.
I was booted off. I was not allowed to post on that page. And I'm thinking.
Yeah. Well, I've not been on it other than what people sent me. Rodney said that it was tied to communist groups. And I wouldn't doubt that it's tied to bigger communist groups. Most of the things that are going on in this country are tied to communist groups. And I can guarantee you that more than half of those kids had no idea what they were going out there to protest. They have no clue, and most of the people protesting ICE, they're protesting laws that were enacted by Democrats and Republicans. We have our first president who actually enforces the law, and they're protesting law enforcement. I don't get it, but who is really behind it, I don't know. I Googled it, just said it was a student-led organization, and I couldn't find any more information out about it other than that. Like I said, I'm not on Instagram, so
well,
I don't know who's behind it.
As we've been warned and alerted in the past, watching what our kids are doing online, because that kid they are texting with turns out to be a 38-year-old man who's going to,
of course,
fish them out and hurt them. So what I'm getting at with the socialist handout they had is that this is orchestrated, that the students may be involved, but they weren't the ones who started it. Somebody told them about this. And so they've got I want to say, the front man being some teenager, but who is really pulling the strings is, we need to find out who that is.
Yeah, I have no idea who that might be. And I was also given information by students and other people in the community that teachers are involved in it and teachers are passing this out and doing that. And I'm like, give me a name, give me a name. Nobody could give me a name. So, and I've been told things like that before, that they're locking this bathroom, they're locking that bathroom, and I go into the school and find out there's no way they can lock a bathroom because there's no door on the bathroom, or that there were litter boxes in the bathrooms, and I go into schools and there's no litter box in the bathroom. And that's fine. If you tell me something, I'll go look into it. But if you're going to tell me that somebody's doing it, then I need a name so that I can say, this person is accused of doing this. Let's find out. And that never did happen. So, and I was asked not to go to the protests because I was going to go, and after thinking about it, I thought, yep, I'll probably just keep my distance from it. That way, I couldn't be accused of meddling or supporting, and so I stayed away from it that day. But I totally disagreed with it. But my opinion of suspending them was the only one in the school system, so I was kind of by myself on that one.
I will say this, guys. This is why we do these meetings, and they take an awful lot to put together. If anybody's ever done this, you know what it's like trying to get the. And then you're right, and 10 minutes before 7, people are going, "I didn't get an invite." Or it's in spam. But we do all of this stuff, and it's worth doing it because we need to know what's going on. We want our kids to be okay. We don't want them to get Epsteined. We don't want them to get SRA'd. We don't want them to get abused. We want to make sure that they're fit and ready to go. I watched all of this stuff happen when I was a kid to some of the kids that were in my neighborhood, and there were consequences. There were consequences to the adults that were doing it, and there were all that got caught, and there were consequences to the kids that didn't do what they were supposed to do in school. Today, things don't have consequences, and this is why we need to be at boards of supervisors. This is why we need to watch where our money goes. This is why we need to be at the school board and make sure that we're paying attention to what's happening. And if you see something, by all means, please say something. The only way, and don't be afraid to. God put I don't know when my time is up. God put an expiration date on me. So I don't know when that is, but I'm not going to, what do they say? I'd rather die on my feet than bow on my knees. That's not going to happen.
And let me say this. I mean, the school is kind of in between a rock and a hard place on this one.
I know. I'm with you.
That they didn't want this to happen, and the way it was put on those flyers and things, as the school was supporting this, the school really didn't support this, but they're kind of between a rock and a hard place, because you as a teacher, 30 kids get up and walk out of your classroom, you're not really going to stop them unless you have pepper spray, and you can't do that. So they're kind of in a rock and a hard place. So I think they did a good job as far as they kept the press away. The video that I saw from Millbrook, they had the buses encircle the students, and students had to stay inside that circle. So
they didn't leave campus.
They didn't leave campus. They were kind of corralled. So I think that the schools tried to do it as safely as possible. Again, I'm all advocating for, if you walk out, you're going to get suspended. Can they do it? I don't know legally what the things are there. I'm not a lawyer, but they were in a rock and a hard place, because these kids were going to do what they were going to do. I'm sorry?
Some things are common sense.
Yeah, and I agree with you, but the schools did not actively support it as an entity saying, yep, we're all behind you, let's do this together. That didn't happen, which is what some of the people are saying.
Okay. That's good to know. But now we have to support the school. We have to support the teachers, let the teachers know and the school board know that you've got parents that are behind them. Okay. I'm not sending my kid to school. If I'm a disruption to the school, my father got called into the principal.
I kept my grandson home that day. He did not want to go and deal with that.
There's quite a few people that did that.
He didn't want to have to. He didn't want to have to get an argument that he wasn't going to participate with someone. So I said, "Well, stay home."
But look at that. I mean, you lose another day of school. So we are kind of between a rock and a hard place. But I'll tell you what, as good, God-fearing people that actually care about this country and about other people, by pulling things together, we can. That's why we do Mountain Patriots. That's why we have the 7 ministries. This is why I want people to go onto our website and fill out what you're interested in helping us with. And it doesn't make any difference where you are in the United States. We all work together. Look where we are tonight. We're on a Zoom call. So we can support each other through this. And I think if gets done right, we could be into another golden age. We just got to watch out from this AI stuff that like Adam's talking about. I know what he's talking about with Peter Thiel. I'm going to tell you a real quick Peter Thiel story, and then I'm going to turn it over to Wayne. From what I understand, the guy Tyler Robinson, who supposedly unalived Charlie Kirk, was on top of the building for 45 seconds and took his gun apart and threw it into Peter Thiel's property. I don't know. I have to go back and look at that. But that's what, something to look at. Too many things are weird, but some guys, I'm telling you, go down some rabbit holes and go down there quick, because a lot of the stuff, the predictive programming is out there, and it's working its way on a lot of us. And you see what happens when you end up with things like that. You got people that don't know what's going on, and you end up people with Chris or the Caldwells or Adam that get stuck in a position because we didn't do something or know what was going on to begin with. So guys, thank you for being here, but I want to turn this over to Wayne. He's going to take us out, the good versus evil. We are a ministry. He has been phenomenal, he and Scott, as our spiritual leaders. And I'm going to turn it over to you, Wayne, because you cover some great stuff. So thank you for doing this.
All righty. Thank you, Dana.
Thank you, Wayne.
Can you see the share screen? I guess you can. All right. I'm getting some feedback, and I don't know why. Are you getting feedback from me?
A little bit. You have 2 computers on? Do you have 2 computers?
No.
Just one?
Yeah.
Okay, because if you have that or a cell phone on at the same time, you're going to get feedback.
Can you see that picture?
No.
All right. I'll have to do without it.
Oh, you do pretty well. You're great on your feet, man.
Last week I shared about, this is really bothering me.
This call will be recorded.
Let me pull out my mic.
It says your call is going to be recorded.
This call is no longer being recorded.
I love the new phones. Oh.
So sorry, I was trying to get FaceTime.
Does that mean we're Fed free?
Right. Sure.
All right. This week I covered, I'm still getting feedback, but I'll go ahead. I shared a site in Los Lunos, New Mexico.
Hey, Wayne, I see you at the bottom. It says Brother W. Yahusef, and then I see you as Wayne. So you're on here twice. That's why you're getting feedback.
How do I stop that? Oh.
You're on 2 different systems at the same time.
Glad you guys are patient.
What are you doing? Couldn't resist. Now batting. Number 8. Cal, Ripken.
Oh, hello.
Can you mute one of him?
I'm trying to. I don't know how to do it.
All right, hold on.
Maybe you can mute one.
The administrator can.
Try that. I just muted you, Wayne.
Wrong one. Mute the other one.
I can't. He has to unmute
Okay,
himself.
Unmute yourself, Wayne.
I muted you, so you got to unmute yourself. It won't let me do it.
There
All right,
you go.
can you hear me now?
Perfect.
I'm still getting the feedback. All right.
Well, we're at a ballpark. Let's do it.
All right. So the verse, that's annoying me, brother. Maybe Scott can take us out. This is annoying to me. Scott can take us out. I can't even find my other double on here. That's why this is frustrating.
It's up to you.
What did you want to share with? What did you want to
me.
share real quick, Wayne? Because even though we have an echo, you had some great points last night. And if you could share what you were thinking last night would be excellent. And then Scott can take us out.
You had good versus evil or something like that. There is a verse in Isaiah that talks about a day when we're going to call good evil and evil good.
Yes.
And so we're at that stage today. And so the answer to that is, at least with his people, is to return back to the covenant, which is what I shared in that site in Los Lunos. And it's got the 10 Commandments carved on there. And to my knowledge, you can go online, Wikipedia will say it's a fraud, but there are numerous linguistic scholars that will say it's legit. And if it is about 3,000 years old, then that predates our Constitution, the Declaration of Independence. That should be our foundational plank for anything that our government is built on, his spiritual law. And so because we have sinned as a nation and we left that covenant, the answer is to return back to it. And I wish I could have some good news to say that our country will have a revival, but I don't know if that's going to happen. But I do know there's a remnant that will be saved through it all. And hopefully we are going to be part of that, at least the people here and across the country whose hearts are touched by his spirit and want to live accordingly to his covenant. And so the Holy Spirit will write that on our hearts as we allow him to do that. And if we can reach one, we will turn to righteousness in this country. And we'll let Yahuwah deal with the evil ones. So, 5, chapter 20, where we're living in this day, they're saying what is evil, and they're saying it's good, and we need to have our spiritual antenna up and call them out and return back to his word and his covenant. All right? Thank you. Sorry for the feedback.
I love it. Thanks, Wayne.
All right.
Folks, we have a couple minutes left before Scott takes us out. Does anybody have any real quick? We have till like 9:58 or 8:58, because if it's over 2 hours, then Barbara can't put it on. She can't post it. It won't work. Anybody have anything that we missed tonight that you see that we need to be looking at? So we did okay. We had a lot to cover, guys. I mean, we really did. All right, real quick, check out MTN PATS, Mountain Pats. Everything is on the website. Fill out a submission form. Let us know what you need to do. Chris, you and I will be in touch this week. I would love to have you on, you and Adam, at the same time to talk about this J6 stuff and what's going on. Maybe we can get Mr. Caldwell to join us, because he was on all kinds of pain medications and heart medications and everything else. And he was seeing He said all of a sudden he would go into spasms where he saw orange and red and yellow, and he would shake and he did not know what hit him. Okay. And I'm going to give him a little plug here. He wrote a book called Mouths of the Wicked. If you have not read that book, I would strongly suggest you read that book. Chris, it's on our website. And Chris, I have a book here that Tom gave me. I will make sure.
I think I have one here or something.
If you have Mouths of the Wicked, if you have it, great. If you do not have it, I will send you a copy from Mountain Patriots. I have one for you.
I'll let you know. Don't let me forget.
You and Adam especially need to read this book. Okay, yeah, it's incredible and it's spiritual.
I know Tom well. I spent a little bit of time with him in DC jail.
Tom Caldwell.
Tom's a great man.
He's an Commander Tom. He is an excellent guy. A lot of times he's on here with us. So I will make sure you and Adam get his book. With that, I want to thank everybody for being on here tonight. If you have any questions, hit me up, text me, email me, call me, whatever. And Scott, I'm going to ask you if you can take us out here this evening, my friend. Thanks everybody for being here.
Well, let me go to Acts 26 real quick when the Apostle Paul was talking to King Agrippa, explaining his ministry and what Christ told him to do, to open their eyes and to turn them from the darkness to light and from the power of Satan unto God, that they may receive forgiveness of sins and the inheritance among them which are sanctified by faith that is in me. So, Heavenly Father, we ask that you give us the opportunity, give us the means, give us the knowledge, give us the words and the wisdom to speak to this lost and dying world for your kingdom, for your glory, for your mercy, and for your grace, so that we could reach those who need to accept you as Lord and Savior in this lost and dying world. In the blessed name of Christ, amen.
Amen. God bless.
Amen.
Anybody have anything? We're good? I want to thank everybody for being here. You need me, holler. With that, Charlie, what do we say at the end of every one of these broadcasts? As Rick would say, this one
is in the
book. All right, guys, have a very blessed evening, and I know I'll talk to all of you sometime this week. We will see you soon. Behave.